Welcome back. So I am taking the next steps to be able to print high temp materials in my enclosure. So I guess this might be enclosure part 2. The first thing I need to swap is the hot end. And the main issue with the hot end is the stock hot end is that the PTFE tube runs all the way down to the nozzle. I'm sure you might be aware if you're into 3D printing. And that PTFE tube is only good to about 250 degrees. So printing anywhere over 250 degrees can start to release things you don't really want to breathe. And this is next to my desk, so we're not going to do that. So I actually tried and swapped the stock hot heat break in here. You can't really see it for a all metal titanium heat break. And what this does is it moves the PTFE tube up to about here, and then everything else from there to the nozzle is all metal. So you can, in theory, print up a lot hotter with all metal heat breaks or titanium heat breaks. But the issue I was having with this, which seems to be a common issue that people have with the titanium heat breaks, is that I got a lot of clogging. So here is something I printed with this, and it was pretty common for me to get about halfway through a print, or maybe an hour through, and it would just clog up. I'm pretty sure this is due to heat creep. You get heat up into the heat sink and then it would just clog up and you wouldn't be able to finish a print. So this was a pretty common result that I was getting. So as you might be able to tell, I took this one out, and in its place, I popped in the Creality Spider. I found a pretty good deal on that. I will put a link in the description for that. I am not sponsored, bought it with my own money, and it's been working pretty okay. I have gotten several prints out, and then this is the other part of this next stage. So this is the Bento Box. I forget who it's from, but I will put a link in the description and maybe a card or a little thing right here. I don't know how big it is. But this is an air filter, multi-pass filter that uses a HEPA filter as well as a activated carbon. I have all of the pieces printed for that. Quite the thing, actually. It's pretty big. So this has the fans down here. The carbon will go in here. The HEPA filter will go up here. And then I'm just going to install this, connect it up to the Raspberry Pi, and wire it up with a relay so that I can control this from Clipper, basically with macros and stuff. I figured I should take a second to just touch on how this is actually going to work a little bit more. So this is printed in 4 different pieces. So these little grates are all printed separately with no top or bottom layers, just infill, which I thought was pretty clever. You put them in here, you put your activated carbon in there, or activated charcoal. I'm not sure what the correct term is. You snap these 2 pieces together. They need magnets, but those are on the way. And then you just drop this in here. In the fan base, the fans will pull the air down and then out the bottom. So you're pulling the air across the activated carbon. And then in here, the HEPA filter, also on the way, will go right on top. And so you're going to pull the air through the HEPA filter and then the activated carbon, and hopefully filter out any particulates, and then anything else that's left, like gases or chemicals that are in the air, and hopefully neutralize them so we can print things like ABS or ASA, which could release styrene gas, which I don't want me or my kitty cat to breathe. I've been working more on the enclosure over the last few days, and I designed and printed a couple hinges. So these hinges are inspired by some I saw on printables. Basically, this will get attached to the frame, and there's this pin, and then this is the part that will get glued onto the acrylic, and then they'll just slide together like this, which makes them, work like a hinge, but I'll still be able to take it fully off without having to remove any hardware or anything. The other part that I'm going to screw onto the enclosure is the latch. So this will get obviously screwed onto the opposite side, and then we'll just boop, boop, to hold the door in place so that once I try and start printing like ASA, which I got a roll of the other day, we'll be able to enclose the space and make sure that none of the fumes escape by, holding it shut. Yes, I am working on the enclosure while a print is running because, I don't know, why not? I've refocused you so that I can put the latch in. ended up using some sandpaper to just rough up the area on the plexiglass, and then use some JB Weld plastic epoxy to attach the prints to the plexiglass where I had roughed it up. And now I have to take the plastic off of the plexi on both sides. But I have a new problem, which is that because this door now can contain all of the air that's inside, it gets too hot and everything shuts down. So I now have to figure out how to move all of the electronics outside of the enclosure. So I got these motor extension cables because I should be able to make end stop switches so that I can move all of the motor drivers. Basically, that's what's overheating, and the pie and all that other stuff up top on top of the enclosure so that it won't overheat. And then we should be good. So now I have to drill a hole in the top and route all my wires through it. So I'm pretty sure I left off last time with my electronics overheating. So I have gone ahead and removed them from down here and extended some of the wires and ran them up on top of the enclosure. So I'm gonna go handheld and I'm gonna show you where they are now. So I moved them back into this external electronics enclosure. It is a rat's nest, but that's just wiring generally. I hooked up the Bento Box to this switch here, so I can just turn it on and off manually from outside the enclosure. And then I should be all set. I have my roll of ASA loaded up. Spoiler alert, it works. This is the little bearded dragon model from, I believe it's Print Start 3D. I love this model. It's so little. It's kind of a good test. It's small. It has like some built-in movement parts. And it looks really nice. The ASA looks incredible. Like the surface finish is like the right level of matte and shiny. I love it so much. But I did start with the ABS profile in Prusa Slicer, and then just modified the bed temperature to be 100 degrees instead of 50 or 90, and it works really well. So this is a replacement Hotend shroud. Oh, I did get my camera back on at some point, so I have some time lapses, not of that, unfortunately, but of my new Hotend mount. So that's the Hiromi Gen 7, which I'm going to replace with the ABS one, just to make sure that if temperature is ever a problem, it won't mess up my Hotend mount. Something else that I want to mention about the enclosure with the door is not only does it keep all of the heat in, so it reduces any warping from ASA, it also really cuts down on the noise. So right now I have the Bento Box running, the Hotend fan is basically always running, and then the part cooling fans are on. I'm just gonna let you listen. Notice the difference when I open the door. It's noticeably quieter. That was not something I expected when I put the door on, but it is something that I find very nice. I will obviously put the part files for my latch as well as the hinges that are out of frame up on printables. I will put updates to the Instructable. Thanks for watching. Bye.